Hello, how is your relationship to rest and to work? Because mine is always under negotiation. I think it's mostly because there's just so many things that I want to do. Like I'm working on a side project with my buddy Ken called AHKO, doing a bunch of songs, and that's what I was doing a lot of this week. But I also have my own project, Joy Weather, which I care very much about. And there's, day job, there's people I love, there's client work, there's just all this stuff that either I want to or need to attend to, and it's hard to balance, but in my heart of hearts, I know it's also important to do this. Like, she is the model of how to be, I think, just so chill, unbothered, and I wish I was more like that. That's kind of been the journey that I've been on the past couple years, but it was really boiled down, and you got the essence of it this past couple weeks. Anyhow, hope you enjoy. I hope they enjoy. Right, Cora? Hello. You're so cute. Physically, I'm about ready to start winding down and just, be done for the evening. But I had a couple more ideas I really wanted to get down. For this song, I'm thinking in that intro part, the main guitar is just going up the middle, so I thought it would sound kind of nice if the lead guitar was kind of doubled and going on both sides. So instead of sounding like this, it could sound like this. And then for whatever reason, I got it in my head that maybe organ could be kind of cool for this song. Not like too church organ, like the praise of Jesus, but like, just something kind of like 70s-ish. I don't know. I mean, I'll have to try it and see. And also, I mean, the late night ideas are notoriously not good. But I don't know. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe in the morning it'll give me a different idea. In a shocking turn of events, the late night idea to add a V3 organ to the song turns out the next morning was not at all a good idea. I didn't like it at all. But I am going to add this, the Korg monologue. I really enjoy this synth. I've got this sort of like noisy patch kind of going. For the past little while now, I've been enjoying this sort of like white noise kind of thing happening. I put it in the James song and probably a couple other things recently. But yeah, it's just something I've been really into. Alright, Ken just sent me his vocals. They sound really good. So I'm going to throw down some harmonies on this bad boy. Just set this up real quick. Okay, should be good. Of a this. Should probably figure out these lyrics too, huh? In glory, treading in, won't taste bitter. All right, next is to tune and comp these vocals, which is, I don't hate it. It's not my favorite. It's kind of tedious, kind of boring. I'm hoping maybe if I catch Ken's stream while I'm doing this, that it will be less boring. He's playing this crazy game. I don't even know what it's called. He's like a medieval peasant in an arena, but seems to be having a good time. So maybe the good vibes will carry me through. Know this, in every conifer, in every pine, every horehound laden path beneath my stride, there you are. But if you should forget me, not seek where I reside, then know that I realized recently that with some modest cabling adjustments, I can record a DI of my bass and an amp at the same time. I guess guitars as well, but I can record the two signals at the same time. DI is direct inject, so it's the signal coming straight off of the guitar. The direct signal sounds like this. Versus if you take that signal and it goes through like a pedal or like an amp or whatever, then it would sound like this. And it doesn't have to be just that sound, right? You could take that sound and turn it into this. Just a quick little technical lesson. And it just hadn't occurred to me to do that. For my amp, I'm using the Line 6 Helix because I don't have a bass amp. So, you know, we're doing that. I'm just seeing now if it actually works. Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna take this out. It does. I don't know why it never occurred to me, but anyhow, I'm gonna record some bass for this AHKO song. So new bass recording setup, great success. I'm really happy with how it turned out. But the biggest change, like the biggest thing I noticed was like a psychological thing more than an actual sound thing. I think knowing that I had that extra DI, that clean signal that I could do anything to and, you know, just have as a backup, it let me be more bold with like the amp sound. So I got to like, you know, really take time and, you know, shape the sound in such a way that, you know, there's a small part of me that was like, is this too much? Maybe, but just kind of being more brave to like chase down the sound that I thought I was looking for. And then ultimately at the end, being able to use both of those sounds together, that was the biggest thing. And it made me think more about just like being creative in general, like having a safety net, having something that you can fall back on allows you to be bolder, whether that's in the macro sense of like, you know, financially or, you know, time-wise, if you know you have something you can fall back on, it lets you be bolder because even if you mess up, who cares, you know? And on the flip side, if you know you only have like one opportunity to try to make something right, I think there is, at least for me, it makes me be a little bit more timid and like reserved in what I'm doing. Because, you know, I can't afford to mess it up, so I kind of have to be extra careful about it. But yeah, it was just something that made me think, you know? Okay. So in cutting that video together last night, I realized I look a lot sadder than I was feeling. I think I was just tired. It was a long day of recording. I've had more time this week to just record and do the things that I'd like to do. And so it felt like a good time to kind of push myself and try to get the things done that I'd like to get done. I'm a proponent of the idea that, you know, there are times that it makes sense to push yourself. I'm like in this little canopy. Maybe I'll stay here. But that there are times that, you know, you can push yourself and kind of accomplish more of the things that you want to. And then there are other times when, you know, the universe or whatever, however you want to think about it, maybe your body says, all right, time to rest, time to slow down, bud. But this was not that time. This was, for me, a time of like, all right, we can do some extra stuff here. So I was trying to do that. And I think by the end of it, feeling just tired and ready for bed. So kind of low energy. Oh, there's a bee. It's working so hard. Anyhow, what I neglected to mention, or maybe just forgot to mention, was that the second part of realizing that, oh, you know, maybe having a sort of safety net or like a backup thing allows me to be more creative, just like from my temperament, that maybe behooves me, or maybe it's a good idea for me personally to try to build out certain things in my life that allow me the safety to be bold, you know, that sort of like thing I can rely on or fall back on just in case, because, you know, just for me, it worked that way. I think everyone's a little different. Some people are a lot braver or more willing to throw caution to the wind and just go for stuff, which I really admire. But that is not me and not my temperament. I think I need to know that there's something there, just in case it all goes to shit, that, you know, I'm going to be maybe not okay, but not in the worst situation. Feeling that vitamin D too. It's nice out today. The bees are out, the birds are out. The dog is being a dog. Here, I'll show you. Ugh. Ain't she so cute? Hey pups, you ready to go inside? Let's go. All right. Truthfully, I would like nothing more than to just enjoy the rest of the afternoon. It's a beautiful day outside. Maybe have an afternoon beer, sit in the sunshine. But there's a little voice in my head that's like, "Oh, it's the last day of your week where you've had more time to work on music. Don't you want to make the best of it?" You know that voice that says things like, "You'd love to quit your day job, wouldn't you? This is how you make that happen." And then there's the other voice, maybe the more reasonable voice that'll say something like, "Rest is an investment in your future productivity." Or it'll remind me that it's a lot harder to, cut through something with a dull knife or a dull axe or whatever. And, you need to take care of those things to make them work. Maybe it's like an immigrant kid thing, but it's always going back and forth. Usually I lose to the one that's like, "You've got to do more." And in my 30s, I'm trying to kind of rebalance a little bit, but it's hard. I think I'm going to try to negotiate with myself and say, all right, we're going to do a little bit more. There's a song called Nothing that I've been working on for a really long time that I just never finished, and it just needs a bass part. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to record some bass, then maybe call it for the day. Oh, I'm going to try to call it. And enjoy myself. You're going to do fun things. You're going to relax. Maybe there's, some people out there that'll judge me for playing bass with a pick and say something like, "Real bass player wouldn't play bass with a pick." To that I say, I'm not a real bass player, so wee. I joke around, but I do want to make sure that the bass parts are thoughtful and suit the song and fit what I'm trying to accomplish. For the most part, I've got it pretty mapped out in the first verse, keeping it simple, coming in halfway through, playing just whole notes, and playing them up high so that, when I go to the chorus, it's kind of satisfying to land. And there's like more weight when it comes to the chorus. So there's just more low end information once we hit the chorus. So that kind of makes it like the song feel taller, if that makes sense. So I'm pretty happy with those. And then in the bridge, I've got this like fuzzy guitar playing. And so I thought might be kind of cool to also play that on the bass because I've got a synth bass going at the same time. So maybe I can have the synth bass sort of support, and then the guitar, bass guitar, words, can kind of jump up a little bit higher and sort of fill in that gap or like that sort of frequency range, like the low mid. And that ended up being kind of convenient because I land on the first note of the chorus. So I can play it up high, and since it's a double chorus to kind of like differentiate the two bits of the chorus, I can drop down for the second part of the double chorus, if that makes any sense. And now I'm just trying to figure out what to do for the second verse, because it's got like a little bum 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 bum, and so I thought it would be cool, or like maybe it would work to do that with the bass, but it just did not sound good. So I might have to figure out like a different rhythm to sort of have going on underneath. But I just wanted to share just how I'm thinking about trying to put a bass part together instead of just or whatever. Not that that's wrong. That sounded actually pretty cool and like could fit in like a punk rock song. But in my limited knowledge and capacity, I still try to just be thoughtful. It's like 6:30, but the sun's still out. Still counts. Right, pups? Yeah.